Knopf Clipper, hi friends, Darth Momo here. As you can tell, I'm a little sick. Filming this in January, so I've got the virus that has been going around a little bit. But we're going to do an S tier ranking of all the Lego Star Wars specials and series that have been done over the years. I've already done an S tier chart on Star Wars movies and shows, so feel free to check that out if you haven't already. But today we're just going to be talking about the televised Star Wars Lego specials. So none of the online 5-minute short films, stuff like that. We'd be here all day. Just the officially released on television. So we're going to go back to the beginning, 2011. We're going to look at Lego Star Wars The Padawan Menace. I'm going to give this one an A tier. It wasn't perfect. There were things that I would have liked a little differently, but looking at it, I think it really set the bar perfectly for Lego Star Wars, and it showed just what you could do with the medium. And all in all, even though it's only 20 minutes, it's a really fun, solid ride. The next one we're going to do is Lego Star Wars The Empire Strikes Out. This was the sequel to the Padawan Menace sequel, kind of not a sequel. So I remember that one kind of being a little lackluster, a little mid. Like, it was exciting because it was shiny and new. It was new Lego Star Wars. It was in the original trilogy time period now instead of the prequel era, like the Padawan Menace. But it didn't hit the same way that the previous one did. It still had a lot of fun moments, but I wouldn't put it on par with the Padawan Menace. But it was still pretty good. I think I'm going to throw this one in B tier. Yeah, we're going to go B tier. Disclaimer on lots of these, I've only seen these once or twice, so I haven't seen a lot of them in a while. So I'm kind of working off of memory, off of what I remember. I did the early ones before Disney bought the franchise. I did see them about 4 years ago or so, so it's not like it's been a decade. The next one we're going to go with is Lego Star Wars The Yoda Chronicles. So I'm splitting these in two. We're just going with the first three, The Yoda Chronicles, because there were 7 in total. I'm going to put this in C. Now, some people might be shocked at that. I think the concept was really cool. And I remember really liking at least the first episode. But I remember the second one being like a little less enjoyable than the first one. And I remember parts of the third one almost being kind of cringe. And in fact, actually, I don't even know where you can find the third one. They did a DVD release of just the first two. And then Disney did a release of the new Yoda Chronicles. I don't even know where you can find the old one. Especially since those were Cartoon Network issued. But we're going to throw that one in C tier. The next one we're going to go with is Lego Star Wars The New Yoda Chronicles. I'm going to throw this one in C tier as well. It's a continuation of the original Yoda Chronicles. There was 4 installments. And I think the last one had an alternate ending as well. But I just remember them being, like, at least the first 3, I think, kind of wrapped up the story at least. Whereas out of the next 4, the story was just kind of, like, left unfinished. I don't know if it's because they didn't do more. They were just kind of, like, one-offs. So I don't know if it's just because they weren't planning on doing more, or if they did, but they just weren't doing as well. So they shifted their focus to the next Lego project. I don't know. But I just remember, like, it wasn't as solid as some of the earlier stuff that had already come out. It was good. It was fine. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't like special or amazing or anything. So we're gonna throw that in C tier. The next one we're gonna do is Lego Star Wars Droid Tales. Maybe I'm giving this one just a little bit too much credit, but this one is a really fun ride. I think the premise is perfect. Almost all the jokes are perfect. And it's got its own fun story within it that keeps you guessing. These were released monthly, so month to month. I remember having to wait 5 months to figure out the mystery of what was going on outside of the retelling. The only criticism I would really have of this is they did a Rebels retelling of an actual Rebels episode, but for the Clone Wars, they did a brand new plot instead of retelling an actual Clone Wars episode. But that being said, I'm still going to throw this in S tier. This is one of my favorite Lego Star Wars pieces. The next one we're going to do, I don't know if any of you guys remember this one. They're shorts, but they were televised and released on television. So that's why we got them on here. They weren't part of like another series, like shorts for an actual series. They were just shorts, their own little short series. Lego Star Wars: The Resistance Rises. They were set around the Force Awakens time period. They came around sometime in like the first half of 2016. They're short. They're like 5 minutes, and I think there's like five of them. It's just kind of like one about Poe before the movie, one about Rey, one about Finn, and one about I think Han Solo. I'm gonna give this one actually a B. That might be a little shocking, especially since some of you guys might not even remember that. But I remember they're short, they're sweet, and I remember at least a couple of them really played in well with some of the tie-in media, like the books and the comics for that era of Star Wars. They could have just told their own thing, but like I remember the one with Poe Dameron and C-3PO actually basically Lego-fied a comic story that had already come out. So I really appreciate little touches like that. So for that reason alone, just because of how it respected the continuity, I'm going to put it in B. Otherwise, I probably would have put it in C tier, but I really appreciate little details like that, and I want to give credit where credit is due. The next one we're going to go with is Lego Star Wars: The Freemaker Adventures. Probably the longest running one. It was 2 seasons, 13 episodes each, so 26 episodes. Came out 2016 to 2017. The first episode of this, I remember, really blew me away. I was like, wow, this is not what I was expecting from Lego Star Wars. This was really good. And then there was a lot of meh episodes. And I remember the penultimate episode of season 1 was really good. And then season 2 was a bit more mixed. It started off kind of messy. And then I remember the last like 4 or 5 episodes or so were really good. Or at least I really enjoyed them. So I think all in all, I got to balance it out. I could have put some of its better episodes in probably a B tier. Maybe putting one of them even in an A tier. But there's a lot of them I could have put in D tier or C tier. So overall, we're going to put that one in C tier. You guys, I reviewed the whole series, every single episode that came out. So if you're interested, feel free to go back and check those out. But yeah, those were my extended thoughts on Freemaker Adventures. But I do got to say, I do think, even though it's not canon, it's like canon adjacent. I do think Freemaker Adventures kind of works kind of well as like an in-between episodes 5 and 6 story. I know obviously we've covered that territory extensively with the comics, and I know that these aren't really 100% canon, but I think like for on-screen material, especially for younger viewers, I think it works. The next one we're going to go with is Lego Star Wars All-Stars. I don't know if any of you remember that. I don't remember if it was 4 or 5 episodes. It was basically, came out in 2018, and it was basically 2 episodes about the Freemaker parents, because it's younger kids that is the focus of the show. So it was 2 episodes about the Freemaker parents around the time of Solo, since that's when that movie was coming out, and then 2 about the Freemaker offspring, the next generation of Freemakers, around the time of The Last Jedi, since that had also just recently came out. I remember the Solo-related episodes were kind of meh. But I think I remember kind of liking the sequel ones, especially the way that they turned out, or like they ended on the final one. So I'm gonna put that in C tier just because I remember, yeah, like I said, liking the second half, but not so much the first half. So balancing it out. The next one we're gonna go with is the classic Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, released in 2020. I'm going to go S tier on this one. This one was a blast. I thought it got everything right. The writing, the basic story, all the fun little connections and references and Easter eggs, the jokes, everything just worked for me. This was a very pleasurable viewing. I really loved this one. I watched it a couple different times, and I would absolutely watch it again. Not too much to say on that one, other than the fact that, yeah, I liked it. So, yeah, we're going to put that in S tier. The next one, I think it came out in 2021. It was the Halloween special, Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales. I'm going to put that one in C tier. It did not hit the highs of the holiday special one for me, but it was all right. It had some fun moments. It was cool to see some of the Lego Clone Wars designs in there. But all in all, it was nowhere near as good as some of the other stuff we've gotten. But it wasn't bad by any means. It was just meh. The next one we have is Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation. This one came out in 2022. I think I'm actually going to throw this one in D tier. I remember just watching this and being like, I'm kind of bored. I really don't care for this one. It felt very lackluster. Nowhere near as good as the holiday special one, or like Droid Tales or some of the others, but it wasn't like an utter failure or anything. And last but not least, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. At least as of now. As of now, they've released 4 episodes. I don't know if they're going to do more or not. But just going out these 4 episodes, I'm going to put this one in C. I did a review on this if you guys want to check that out for my more extensive thoughts on the series, but it just felt like it didn't use the potential and the format the way it could have. The premise was interesting, but I didn't really care how it was executed out. If anything, it started out with a really unique premise that kind of just dwindled into something more predictable. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it was still fun. There were some fun jokes in there, but overall, I did get a little bored as the episodes continued on. But like I said, it wasn't a complete failure or anything, so we're going to throw that in not S tier, C tier. And that's my Lego Star Wars S tier ranking list as of 2025. I'm probably going to have this come out sometime in like April or something like that. So, as I said, I'm recording this in January, but as of early 2025, first half of 2025, this is my S tier list for Lego Star Wars. So Lego Star Wars going forward, if you want some gold content, I think most fans would agree this is probably where you should be looking. These are kind of the sweet spots. I don't know if everybody's going to agree with me, obviously, but I think universally these would probably be considered sweet spots. Otherwise, put it down in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you hate listening to my voice like this? Thank you guys for joining in. Darth Momo out, and may the Force be with you. Always. Force pieces. Sorry. Ooh. Excuse me. 2018. To get that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, comment down below and hit that like button. Oh, and check out some of my other videos. I'm sure you'll find them in the light.